Greetings friends, it's been a while since I've posted commentary, again, largely because I'm pretty deep into a few upcoming projects for the channel that have prevented me from commenting on a lot of things that, to be blunt, I really should have by now. All that content is coming up in the near future, but right now I just wanted to take a moment to speak on SNK and the King of Fighters series. This is Little Akiba Games, I'm Patrick, welcome back to the shop. The King of Fighters is an FGC mainstay, serving as a cultural niche in the 90s before some various iterations of SNK gradually elevated it to the institution it is now. Being that the series began with the King of Fighters 94, this is the 30th anniversary, and as of this recording, it sounds like SNK just hinted at some big plans to be announced in the coming days. The notion of a 30th anniversary project of some sort is hardly far-fetched. KOF fans have been eating great for the last few years, with 2 new main series titles in the last decade, peak iterations of 2 of the most iconic titles in the series, 98 and 2002, made available on modern platforms with rollback netcode implemented, and even curiosities like the King of Fighters 97 global match thrown in for good measure. If anything, the questions surrounding what a 30th anniversary release might look like center on what there is to provide the community with that they haven't already got. And the possibilities are less hype than they are fascinating, and I want to take a moment to explore them. One intriguing possibility is that we finally get a global version of the King of Fighters 94 reboot. This was the 10th anniversary project, originally released on PS2 in Japan, and slated for an Xbox release in the West with online support, before it was cancelled at the 11th hour. This is the definitive version of KOF 94, complete with features that were missing from that original game like Team Edit. It also plays much more fluidly, feeling much more like the immediate sequel KOF 95. While it's probably too rudimentary to mark a substantial anniversary release these days, it would fill a noteworthy gap in SNK's present-day offerings, as well as represent a make good on a release that the West was robbed of 2 decades ago. Sticking with the theme of games that the West missed out on the first time around, the experimental King of Fighters Maximum Impact had a rough first couple of outings, which led to its 3rd and final installment, Regulation A, staying in Japan without an international release. This was truly unfortunate because Regulation A fixed a lot of the issues with the first 2 games, fleshed out the overall gameplay really well, and brought back that distinct KOF vibe by re-implementing the 3-on-3 team battle format as the standard. The release of an online-enabled version on modern platforms would not only be a welcome snapshot of a very different time at SNK, it may be the most unique thing they have available to celebrate the 30th anniversary with when compared to their current offerings. When the Ash Crimson arc comes up, the game that most people think of today is the King of Fighters 13, which just recently had a much-needed rollback-enabled current hardware remaster. However, the previous game in the arc, the King of Fighters 11, 12 was not a part of the Ash arc, and we try not to talk about it, was almost as unique as Regulation A. 11 was the back half of SNK's short-lived KOF tag team experiment, was one of only 2 KOF titles to appear on Sammy's Dreamcast-based Atomiswave hardware, and the PS2 installment in particular took a kitchen sink approach to content, dumping characters into the roster on a grand scale. I was at EVO 2009 when SNK themselves ran a KOF 11 bracket, and the energy coming from their section was infectious. It doesn't have the following of something like 98, 2002, or 13, but an offline-enabled remaster of 11 would still be something to explore and celebrate if it showed up as part of the 30th anniversary of the series. I also briefly want to mention the other Atomiswave KOF release, the King of Fighters Neo Wave, which is already a part of the Xbox backward compatibility program where it isn't exactly thriving, and wouldn't necessarily be a compelling release elsewhere on its own, but would go well in a bundle pack with the King of Fighters 11 remaster, and is basically a fun dream match type of KOF on its own merits. Just wanted to put that out there. The last option I want to talk about is a little more fascinating. I've talked before on this channel about how Hamster has absolutely been killing it with their Arcade Archives program, making classic arcade games available on modern platforms for a reasonable price. And within that program, their Neo Geo selections have been a real highlight. Earlier this year, they announced a lineup called ACA2 Neo Geo that is slated to be much more feature-rich, including, critically, online play. But they haven't said anything about it since. I'd be happy just having confirmation of rollback netcode on the lineup, but if this is associated in any way with the KOF franchise, we could be looking at an imminent shadow drop of all 10 Neo Geo KOF titles, which would be a substantial release with long-term implications. Do I hope that's what it is? Honestly, I'd be disappointed if it was any single item on this list by itself, and I'm really holding out hope for 2 or 3 of these items at least. KOF was in bad shape when it hit its 10th anniversary, and now that it's approaching its 30th, the series is right there at the forefront of the genre alongside longtime contemporaries like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Guilty Gear. Additionally, SNK have been very bullish on preservation, and this would be a fantastic opportunity for them to tick several items off of their to-do list to that end. It wouldn't even have to be a series of shadow drops, just the acknowledgement that they're continuing to pay that respect to their back catalog would be a wonderful celebration of a centerpiece franchise that, once upon a time, we didn't even have reason to believe would see 20 years, let alone 30. In any case, I'm suddenly looking very forward to the weekend. How about you all? Let me know how you feel about it down in the comments, and if you have any predictions of what's on the way, share those too. That's all for now. If you like this video, then please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Do what you can to let YouTube know we've got a good thing going on over here. Click the notification bell to know right away when a new video drops. I look forward to seeing you back here next time at Little Akiba Games.